Hi everyone, welcome to Rachel Pichler Yoga. If we haven't met before, my name is Rachel. Today we're doing a nice full body flexibility class. I'm going to use my bolster a little bit today. If you've got a cushion or a block of some kind that you'd like to lay on throughout the class a little bit, feel free to grab something. But if not, you're just going to need a little bit of space to move, and let's get started. So let's begin today laying down, and if you do want to lay on something, feel free to do so. You can also just lay flat on your back, but with the option to maybe get into your hips a little bit. Supta Baddha Konasana, you might make a diamond shape with your legs, lay on down, make sure your head is resting on something, whether that is your mat or a pillow. Make sure your hips are also resting on something, whether that is your mat, ideally, or a pillow. But just bring your arms out nice and wide, let your palms face up, closing your eyes, and take a nice deep breath in, and let it go. Take another deep breath in and let it go. One more. Nice, really deep, slow breath in and let it go. And just making any last adjustments that you need, the wiggle of the fingers, maybe the toes. Find a place where you can just spend a few moments settling in, letting go of your day, and just scan your body all the way from your toes to the crown of your head. Down your arms to your fingertips. How are you feeling so far today through your hips, your low back? Your tummy. And maybe allowing your body to be nice and still here for this next few breaths. Feel every part of you that's touching the ground or any sort of props underneath you. Feel that connection. Let it ground you. Let your body just almost get stuck, get heavy. And taking just another breath or two, even though I feel like some of us could stay here for a while. Start to wiggle our fingers, wiggle our toes. If your knees are out wide, you can also bring them back in, planting your feet on your mats. And if you happen to be laying on something, you can come off of whatever that is, slide it out from under you off to the side, lay on down flat on your back, maybe walking your feet even closer to your hips. You might even lift your heels up Tuck your tailbone under to flatten your low back. Maybe adding a gentle rock of your knees side to side. And you can either roll all the way over onto your tummy, or maybe you need to rock forwards and spin around. But just make your way onto your tummy and then onto your forearms. We're gonna bring our left knee out to the side for a half frog leg. So see if you can bring your knee somewhat in line with your hip. Your left hip wants to find the mat beneath you. Maybe you're resting on the inner edge of your foot. Half frog leg. And then you can relax through your upper body completely here. Rest your forehead, your chest. But if you did want to try to bend your right leg, that long leg, you could start to lift your foot up and maybe encourage your heel towards your glute or your hip. You might be able to catch your foot with your hand. And then let your chest get heavy again. And we'll take just a few more breaths here. If that left leg, if you're good in that half frog leg, you can stay there. Or maybe you're going to start to kind of heel toe your foot out a little wider. You can straighten your leg all the way. You can walk your foot up to the corner of your mats. And then if you do have your right leg bent right now, keep it like that. But start to slide your left leg back in. Send it out long behind you. And if you don't already have your right leg bent, maybe move there now. Encourage your heel towards your glutes. Nice job, you guys. Letting your right leg go. Send it out long. We're just going to switch sides. So your right knee can start to come out. Set up your half frog leg. If you know you're going to be straightening your leg a little or a lot, you can do that at any time. Relaxing your chest down. Maybe bending your left leg, hugging your heel towards your glutes. And just softening through your upper body. Letting your right hip get heavier. If you do want to start to slide your right leg back in, go for it. A little easier to do if you're wearing pants than shorts. But maybe finding your quad stretch once you send your right leg back in behind you. Hug your heel of your left foot towards your glutes, towards your hip. And then slowly starting to let your leg go, let your foot go out long, next to the right one. You can start to move your hands underneath your shoulders. We're going to be pushing ourselves up into our tabletop, onto our hands and knees. So you can bring your knees in under your hips, bring your palms or wrists underneath your shoulders, maybe take a gentle rock of your hips side to side. And then if you've got a pillow or a block of some kind, you can move it to the top of your mat. We'll be bringing our right leg forwards for pigeon. Our left leg can stay behind us. Just kind of sink into the hips a little bit. If you do have something that you can rest on, your upper body, your forearms, even have it in front of you. Feel free to keep your chest lifted, or you can start to tip forwards. Maybe your chest is coming all the way down to your mat, or your forehead is coming all the way down to your mat. Just let your upper body get heavier. Finding the breath. Continue to slow down your day. Now I'm going to give you guys a few options here. So if you want to add your left shoulder into this, the opposite arm that is to your front leg, you can kind of bring your arm under your chest and lay your chest down on your arm. And you can stay here. Notice how the hips are feeling. This might deepen the stretch you're feeling through your hips. Might be a really awesome shoulder stretch. It might be too much. You can always come back. And if you want to get really fancy, if that left leg just wants to get involved, that back leg, you might also start to bend that leg. And maybe you can catch your foot with your hand as well, with your right hand. And then just notice if you can soften your hips a little more. Soften your shoulders. And if you brought your left leg or your back leg into this, start to let it go. And if your shoulder's in it, start to come up as well. Plant your hands, push or lift yourself up, and find your tabletop. Give your hips a nice little rock side to side. How did that feel? A lot of options. So find what works good for you today. We'll switch sides. This side might be a whole different experience than the other side. But bringing your left leg forwards, your right leg can stay behind you. Maybe you stay here the whole time with your chest lifted and just sinking into the hips. And skipping all the fancy stuff, all the weird stuff. If you did want to start to melt it forward, start to relax through the upper body. Sink into those hips a little more. And just enjoy a few breaths in your pigeon before you add anything else. And if you will be adding a shoulder in that right arm, opposite arm to that front leg, slide it under your chest, kind of lay down on it. Let your chest get heavy. Staying here, just an option if you do want to bend your back leg and try to catch your foot. Notice how those hips feel, the shoulder. Instead of lifting your chest towards the left side and looking back at your foot, try to drop that left shoulder back down towards your mat or your pillow. And if you've got your back leg bent, gracefully let it go. If you're on your arm, or just tipping forward, slowly find your way back up. Plant your hands, tabletop when you're ready. Moving slowly there. Give your hips a nice rock side to side if you'd like. Awesome, you guys. All right, option here to lay on your tummy, flat on your tummy, or to come into child's pose. But we're going to stretch our neck a little bit. So we'd be bringing one cheek at a time down to our mat or maybe our pillows. And if you want to lay on your tummy, you could have your arms just at your sides or wherever is comfy. If you're in child's pose, maybe your knees are out nice and wide, your arms might be outside of your knees, or they might thread between your knees. And let's start by bringing the right cheek down, either to your mat or your pillow, and just let your shoulders get nice and heavy. Maybe your chin is actually touching your left shoulder, and you're resting more on your right ear than your cheek. And even though this may be one of those places, again, where we could stay for a little while, or maybe not, we will be switching sides. So you can just bring your other cheek to your mat or to your pillow, relaxing through your chest, your shoulders. And maybe your chin gets nice and close to your right shoulder this time. And you can slowly start to come back up, but resting your forehead. So maybe stacking your palms so that you can bring your forehead to rest on top of them. Just bringing your neck back to a neutral place. And when you feel good, we're just going to find our way up to seated. So if you're on your tummy, you have a little bit more of a journey. If you're coming from your knees, have a seat. We're going to start with our left leg out long, and our right foot can come to the inner thigh. And then from here, let's take an inhale to lengthen. You can point your toes up if you'd like. The exhale, you can start to tip forwards a little bit. Or maybe your nose rests on your knee. But before you get too comfy in your forward fold, you can stay tipping straight down, or if you want to add a bit of a twist to this, maybe your hands can come to the outside of your left leg. You can widen your hands here to turn the chest towards the left a little bit more. You can stay lifted, or you can continue to fold. Maybe you're able to grab onto the outer edge of your left foot. Maybe you're looking back past your left hip. If you're kind of twisting, start to float your chest back towards your knee so that you're folding straight down. You have one arm on either side of your front leg. And then use an inhale to lift back up. Send your right leg out. Bring your left foot to your inner thigh. With an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, start to tip forwards. Maybe point your toes up. Staying here or adding that twist. Bring your hands, maybe lift your chest a little higher. Push into your fingertips. Find that twist through the back, or maybe sink a little further into your forward fold. Awesome work, you guys. Using an inhale, slide your chest back so you're facing forwards if you went for that twist. And then lift all the way back up. You can send your left leg out next to the right one. Bend your knees, hug it in for a moment. Maybe even give a nice little rock side to side. And you can find your way down onto your back. Lay on down. Keep your knees bent, but maybe widen the feet just slightly. And you can start to let your knees rock side to side. Make this rock or movement of your knees as big as you'd like. Maybe do one more side to side movement. Ending up at center. If your feet did go out wide, you can scooch them back in together. And maybe just a couple extra rocks side to side for the low back. Tuck your tailbone under. Connect your low back to your mat. You can start to send your legs out nice and long. Maybe you've got a pillow that can slide underneath your knees. Bring your feet out wide, your arms out wide. And settling right into Shavasana. Staying here for as long as you have time for today. Enjoy the stillness. Enjoy the pause in your day. And until next time, namaste.